Hey everyone, and welcome back to the YouTube channel. So if you are new here, I do all kinds of DIY. Furniture, home repairs, car repairs, everything we can do to save money. So I picked up these chairs quite a while ago, and it's a set of two with these gorgeous nail head trims. Now this is not a upholstery project I want to take on, especially with the nail heads. I hate removing things like that. It's a lot of work. So I looked into faux finishes, spray paint that's for vinyl and leather. It's more for repairs than for covering fabric. I just didn't know what to do. I already had 4 chairs with a more contemporary design, where these are a more traditional design, but the fabric is worn, discolored, dirty, dingy. Well, a beautiful, beautiful table came up for free because their cat was on it and jumped off and scratched the top. Now, I took wood refinishing in high school. I have repair videos on things like that, wood refinishing, wood painting dressers, all kinds of stuff. It's a beautiful table, and I did not want to paint it. I wanted to refinish the top. Gorgeous, gorgeous piece. Very high end. It would have been several $100s to buy this table. It was so big, with the top separated from the base, it still did not fit through the door of this house. I had to do an additional disassembly of the tabletop support to get it just through the door. It is amazing. I can't wait to show them all together. So a lot of people have tried this with chalk paint and it doesn't stay flexible. You know, it can be stiff, it can crack. It's just not a good chalk paint project from everything that I've looked at for months and months and months. So the other 2 chairs that I have are a faux leather, and 2 of the chairs are brown, 2 of them are this color off white, and on 2 of them, the seats are peeling. There's a strange little cutout on those 2 chairs, or set of 4 chairs, and I just didn't know what to do with them. Nobody wanted to take them off my hands for free. I picked them up and looked at them for a year and just thought, the heck with it, I'm just going to throw them away. I'm going to resurrect them and save them with this project. I'm going to paint all 6 chairs to match, because the table I got has a leaf on it, and these would be perfect end chairs with the different design other chair in the middle. So this is it before painted. This is it with 1 coat of paint. You can see a little bit of streakiness. This is 50% latex wall paint and 50% fabric softener. So I had a surplus of both, and this was just some oops paint that we mixed up. It was a lot of tan. Looks a lot lighter on the fabric than it was on the walls in the house. So it was great to use it for this project, because this color is going to go with anybody's interior. So I know a lot of you would probably like to see this go on, and I just wanted to say, I thought mixing the fabric softener would make the paint really thin and runny, but what it actually did was make it thick. So when it dries, it ends up looking like leather, and you can wipe it down, which is really great if you have children in the house. So like I was saying, this was free. Everything I had here, I already had on hand. I did not have to spend any money for the chairs, any of it. And then any scuffs like this, you can use chalk paint and stain this, or hit a touch up with anything. Gel stain, Howard's Restore Finish. Old English is a trick in our house that we use a lot for scuffs. So you can see this is it going on, and as it dries, oh, this hasn't been too long. Yeah, it looks and reacts like vinyl or leather on it. Now, when I get to an area like this, I like to push it down and separate and really get that paint in there. That way, especially if you have company over and somebody's sitting, they're not going to see that color line of the old fabric color and the new. So we're going to go ahead and just keep spreading this on. Be very generous with it. Make sure you have plenty of paint. I started with maybe a half a pint for these 2 chairs, and mixed with another 50% 1-to-1 ratio on your fabric softener, and then we're just working it in. Now this has got like a little bit of a herringbone type pattern in it, and covered in this off-white or tan. It's bringing that out, that texture, which is really nice. If I've heard of some people mixing in baking soda for their projects, and I'm getting that effect on this fabric without that. I don't know if mixing in the baking soda would work really well with the fabric or not, but you could certainly try it. I always figure anything that you don't like, you can just sand it off and start over again. So here's the set of 4 chairs that I told you about. Now this one is in a lot worse shape than I was thinking, and actually probably all 4 chairs could use a recover. I don't want to spend a lot of time to have it not turn out, and a lot of people say take this loose stuff and pick it off. It's all of it. I don't like to revisit projects. This is the best shape of all the chairs. It's going to be faster for me to take any scrap fabric, fold the edge and tuck it in down here, and then just wrap the whole chair bottom with new fabric, any kind of fabric, and then paint over that, because it's not going to bond well to this. I also had some heavy things sitting on top of that. You see that? So I'm going to want to let that sit and kind of recover from the weight. I mean, it was literally a tool belt that was empty, a leather tool belt. So we're going to see if that'll bounce back and come back. I've got them all clean. The people that I got them from had dogs, so I want to take wood filler to them anyway. And these are going to need a little more work. Maybe I'll do the gel stain on these because they're more fake wood, really cheap, like I don't even know what you'd call it, Harbor Freight or Value City type stuff. So we'll patch these all up, and I'm going to go back and put a second coat on the other chairs, and I can do the backs of these in the meantime. I wanted to mention to continue to stir this as you work because it tends to want to separate a little bit. I'm using a clear fabric softener. Also, I am using free and clear with no dyes or perfumes, and I think that's helpful. It's not, you know, changing the color of my paint at all. So just that you know, if it's a helpful tip for you, keep that stirring. It's almost like a melting frosty. Okay, so it's been about an hour and we are doing a second coat. You can see right here the difference in the first coat to the second. Now, since I am having such a color change, I think 2 coats is necessary. I will say with 1 coat, if I had used a darker color, it probably would have been fine. The second coat is going on a lot faster because it's got something, you know, slippery to stick to instead of dry fabric. Some people do recommend spraying the fabric a little bit. I did not want to do that because I did not want to start with wet fabric. I did start with clean fabric, however. And I want to make sure that crease is not having puddled paint at all. The fabric texture with this reminds me of my mom's like 1950s kitchenette set. In comparison to, you know, like a more modern vinyl, and it's partly because of the texture of the fabric that I started with. So keep that in mind when you are choosing a chair or choosing a fabric to do. I will want probably a smooth fabric on my mismatched chairs so that I don't have a lot of difference between the back and the bottom of the seat. But you can see that orange real quickly is hidden with that second coat. See that little spot right there? You can see a difference in the sheen. And this is latex. We call it oops paint at our house. I buy 1-gallon buckets of oops paint for our rental houses. and I take all those 1 gallons and I mix them together to get generally some shade of beige, tan, or green. And then any of the sheens just kind of get mixed up, so they all at the end turn into like a satin finish. Now, after these are dry tomorrow, you can take just like a Q-tip or your fingertip, and you can dab on a color of paint of your choice for your nail heads. You can do, you know, black or white or gold, silver, even copper would look very nice. But you can see side by side the different styles of these chairs. But once painted, they're going to be a lot more friendly to each other. So on these faux leather or vinyl chairs, I was concerned about coverage and about it brushing on really well. So I'm making sure it's a little different than the cloth chairs to get full brush strokes whenever possible, so that there is not that differentiation. They're gonna look a little better together. I sure wish there was a way I could fill in that hole. Short of putting in some kind of a block or a fabric accent, but you can see here's our original off-white and then our beige white. There's just the slightest pockmark right there from the vinyl peeling, so I'm glad I'm skipping the surface of the seat. It's just too far peeled or crackled. The humidity is really high right now. It's getting to be evening time and it feels like it could rain for about the last hour. So I'm gonna quit and let these get thoroughly dry. The fabric was pretty well dry to the touch in about an hour, hour and a half. Enough to do the second coat, but with this, it's much slipperier. And see that? You can see I'm making a line. So this may be a situation of a primer. We're just gonna look back at it after it's all the way dry. So here is a final 2 days later on my chair. I absolutely love how it turned out. It's soft, it's pliable. It did pretty good here. So no way around that. The only thing that you could probably do differently is paint one side, let it dry, paint the bottom, and let it dry. So where the two paints were, it kind of stuck in there. But overall, very happy with that. I chose not to go over the nail heads right now while I kind of think better about the color. These chairs were a fail. I don't know if it was the combination of the fabric softener or otherwise. Now, there are a lot of automotive repair videos where they say use Permatex adhesive sealant and it'll cover holes like this, and you can make a chair bottom look brand new, but the amount of money for a tube of caulk to cover each chair would be more money than buying like a pair of $50 chairs in the end. So I chose to skip that. I'm going with wood filler. They have Sure Fit covers for $7.47 on Amazon, up to $12, and they come in 4 and 6 packs for, you know, $25. Let me just show you what happened with this. I came back, now this has been 2 days, look at this. It's totally dry and it just peels off with rubbing on it. So there's some videos showing Duplicolor spray-on paint, but you can't just go over the crackle, so it's a whole process. I watched a really good video on that, which is probably the way to go with something like this if you're not going to just cover the whole chair bottom. Frankly, it's cheaper just to cover the chair bottom. So no on the fabric softener on this, on the fake leather vinyl product, and yes over cloth fabric. It was absolutely great. I love how it turned out, and it's going to be great. I'm just going to pair these with a table that I had gotten for free. Like I said, it's a furniture flip, and this was a real good way to go. So remember, if this video helped you at all, give a thumbs up, share it out there with your friends, share it on Facebook, share it in emails, anything like that. It's really helpful to the channel. And until next time, go to those playlists, watch the other videos that you like to watch, and we'll see you next time. Bye-bye.